welcome to the very first webinar of the LambdaTest Hive. Hive is a masterclass with our leaders where we'll be sharing and they'll be sharing knowledge that they've gained through their journeys and experiences. I'm 𝐒𝐿, your host and employer branding lead for LambdaTest.
Hey guys, I am Madhuri. I am talent partner at LambdaTest.
So today we have with us a very first leader, a front runner in CoE testing, somebody who has great experience in building teams with renowned startups, Surendra Nagura. So hey, Surendra.
Yeah, thank you, 𝐒𝐿. So I think I have around 3 startup experience with me. So I was working in LimeRoad, then BrowserStack, then LambdaTest. And LimeRoad has given me the opportunity. They have given me manager opportunity with just 3 years of experience. That was very early for me. And I learned a lot from that. And I'm currently learning because of these 2 past companies, I was able to build a very nice, good, growing team in LambdaTest.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that. Before we begin, let me tell you who we are. LambdaTest is a leading digital experience testing cloud that helps developers and testers ship code faster. We have over 10,000 enterprise customers and 2 million users from across the globe who rely on our testing needs. So now let us begin. We have Surendra, of course, who we've already met, who will talk to you about how to build a QA team in hypergrowth startups. So Surendra, the floor is all yours.
Okay. Yeah. So I started my career mostly in Sapient, and then I moved to product-based company. So when we are saying building a QA team, it depends on where you want to build it. So my experience more on product domain. So I have worked with B2C company and B2B company. So both have a different journey where we work on. So if you want to build QA team, what is the initial point from where we can start? Next slide. So first, if you go into any company, you need to define like what is the testing requirement. And it depends on the company. It depends on what phase the company in. There can be different kind of product. Like if it is a B2B product, mostly you will not care much about the UI. You will care more about the functionality, the APIs, and your UI will change slightly, not very frequently. If it is a B2C company, you will be changing more on UI to attract more people, whichever will be visible, that will sell more. So in the LambdaTest, the UI LimeRoad company, it was an e-commerce company, so the UI was changing very fast. But in BrowserStack and LambdaTest, most of the development happening on the backend side or the functionality side. So API testing is needed more on the automation side. Now we also need to decide that how many manual resources you need, how many automation you need, how you want to distribute it. Do you need to create more tools, and what kind of tools you want to create? What kind of a skill set are needed? So you need to first define what is your requirement. Can you go to the next slide? Okay. So when you want to start, the first phase is where your company is. If you are coming from just the zero and you have just 4 or 5 people, your product is still not ready. You don't need any hard-coded QA. You just need a few manual guy who can look into the product, and your team can handle it. But when your company is in a bigger state, you've gone through a first or second round of your investment, or it has become like 30, 50 people, then you need to develop everything, the frameworks and all other parts. So now you need to hire someone who can build that team from the scratch. So you need to hire someone who has vision. He knows what he wants to build, how he wants to see his QA team. He is well connected with other people, other team members in other companies. He has good experience in startup growth. He has seen bigger company, how the bigger framework growth. And he has seen that what kind of issue he faced previously in previous framework or in companies, what was the wrong process, what mistakes. He have already seen a number of experiment done in the previous company. So if he doesn't know, he will do multiple experiment, fail it, then choose the right one. It may be possible that he can just start with the successful experiment. He has to have good coding skill, analytical skill, and he should be able to mentor and create his own copies. And he should be enthusiastic and creative. So that kind of one guy you need to have. Then you can start build over that. Next. So first, if you want to hire a lead, it will be better if he belongs to SDT skill set. Hiring a SDT, it can handle both the manual and automation part and can help you. When you hire SDT, there are 5 different main criteria, which I focus on. Is the person good in coding and analytical skill? So whenever I take an interview, I will always focus on, can I give an open book statement to the guy and ask them to write that code, what he actually need to develop or deliver within a given time in the office? Can he do a fast coding? Is he a growth mindset? If somebody wants to grow, even he knows little, no issues, he will grow. We can teach him. Is he a owner or not? Because in the startup, we don't have a fixed process. We don't have a fixed PRDs and everything. It is all about ownership. Do you own it or not? Effective in white box testing, because most of the time, startup doesn't have a proper staging environment, stable environment, or infra is not there. It's like they are testing in a flaky environment. How they can decide? So if they understand what code they want to test, they are good in white box testing, then they can do it effectively. System breaking attitude. Are they challenging the testing part or not? Are they trying to break the system? Are they questioning enough? Are they questioning that this is right or not? So that kind of attitude is needed in the STT. Next. When you hire a manual in the starting system, I think mostly we don't have a PRD. I don't see any very rare startup which can create a PRD, because always there is a less time to create everything. Customers say us what kind of functionality or what kind of feature they want, and we will do it. So the person should be very detail oriented. The QA should be his attitude. He should be figuring out error or mistakes in each kind of thing. In his day-to-day, having the sharp eye, and about that, he should be oriented. Can I figure out more number of test cases? If he can think of more scenario, and he is a good owner. Sorry. Can we go to next slide?
Surendra, if you could repeat the last point, because we lost you for a minute.
Yeah. So basically, the manual QA, when you are hiring someone, they should have the QA attitude, trying to figure out mistakes or issues in the workflow. That should be their nature, I think. Then they will do very good testing. And they should have the passion, and they should be good in UAT, user acceptance testing. Like, as a user, are they happy with the product or not? They should question PM and EM most of the time, always. Like, I don't like this product, then you don't like it. Then you should put a point, like why you don't like the product. So that kind of attitude, guys, are best suited for startup manual testing. So now when you hire both manual and QA, you should manual and automation skill set, you need to figure out what should be the ratio. So depending on how much development is happening on front end, how much frequently it is changing, how much automation you need, you can decide on that. Mostly if you have 20% automation bandwidth, that is good enough for initial phase. And then you can decide how much you need. So your manual testing setup is initial part, because what company need? Company just need to deliver things with the quality. They don't care how you are doing it. So first you need to sort out that your task is getting delivered with good quality, and your manual testing following all the right pattern. It is not like they are missing something or there are bugs on production and your customer is happy. Then you can focus on your automation part. And of course, you will need to create effective mentor, because whatever you know, you need to teach down the line. Because if everybody is not growing, then first people, the skill set are not growing, their profile is not going in the startup, that is very wrong. And also your team will deliver less if they are not growing. So you need to create effective mentors. Now for the automation setup, you need to have like what you want to create, what kind of framework, what kind of things you want to do. You first need to define that what kind of framework you need, what language you will use. So language should be chosen depending on what is the language used in your organization. If your organization using Java more, use Java. If they use JS, use JS. And it's depend on what you want to automate. If you are more automating UI, I think Cypress is a good tool. If you are going more on API, you can use Rest Assured or something else. You can use different kind of tools based on your requirement. Can we go to next slide? Okay. So this is more about how we want to distribute the team. Then when you want to start, first, like you always need a tool to work on. So your first tool, what you need is test case management tool, because if all test cases are not documented, you can't give the detail or the discussion you can't have for any kind of feature. So you need to have one test case management tool. Then after that, you need to have automation setup and everything. So first you need to choose a specific ID, what kind of ID you want to work on. If everybody chooses the same ID, that will be helpful. We are using IntelliJ, but you can use 𝐒𝐿, IntelliJ, anything depending on the language and depending on your requirement. Then you need to set up all the basic code quality best practices, like what should be the indentation. Because if there is a wrong indentation, your PR difference will be high. So that will create a problem. Are you using any static code analyzer for checking the quality? Is your code quality good? Your code review are done by automatically or not? Some review should be done automatically, and static code analyzer is a good tool for that. Then you can go on framework creation. So you should be very well aware that what kind of framework you need and what kind of human error we will face in the future. So if you are not aware of it, it will be much better to discuss with either your senior, your mentor in a different company, same company, or everywhere. Discuss with multiple people before you create. Figure out what kind of issue they face and create a framework which sort out that issue. One example is, in my previous company, somebody is creating a object for software cert. Now, software cert, if you initiate it, it is a local object. It will not be available everywhere. So what will happen? Somebody will write an automation. It is a green, but when you really check it, it is not actually checking the cert. So your automation is green, but basically your automation is not working. So that kind of error I try to sort out in my framework, so that we are using just one object for checking software cert. So accidentally, there will be no mistake by anyone. Nobody can do the mistake. So that kind of work you should need to do, because you can't blame a human for making a human error. That is in nature. It will happen. So when your architecture is ready, you can start. You need to follow the best practices, and you need whoever is leading or whoever is more focused on the framework and automation. All PR should be reviewed very thoroughly. You should teach guys what is the best practices should be followed, and when they are good and understand you are on the same level, you can give them full ownership so that they can review and merge the code. But till that time, you should be very focused. Like, are we going in the right direction or not? Next. Now, when we want to start a automation, so automation will be always tricky. So
Surendra, we can't hear you quite clearly. Madhuri, are you able to hear Surendra?
No, Gayatri, I think some internet issue at his end.
Okay, great. Surendra, you'll have
Hello?
to repeat. Yes, we can hear
Yeah, I rejoined.
Yeah.
Is my internet fine now?
Yes, yes.
Hello?
Okay. Yeah, we can hear you.
Thank you. So what I'm saying is, when you want to start automation, the initial thumb rule is, can we automate 20% of test cases, which can give us 80% of coverage? The 20% test cases should be main functionality, which are not changing, which are very stable. And mostly choosing an API automation is always beneficial, because API don't usually change fast and they are not flaky. And then you can decide which way you want to automate. Can we go to the next slide? So first, what I think is you should first target a smoke job. So if your smoke job is working, all your basic tests are covered. You can still give a green. So definition of a smoke job should be clear. And then you can just copy the smoke job and name it regression. Now your regression is also ready. Now you need to just add more test cases in the regression to have your regression working for you. So if you are working on multiple pod, each pod need to have a smoke job and regression. Then you can focus on dev jobs, like what kind of developer requirements are there, how you can sort out developer testing issues, how they can do testing on their own side. You can give them a job and save your own bandwidth. Now you need to focus on the job or on the test cases, which can reduce your manual testing time. So automation is all about what is the impact you are making. Are you solving a testing problem, or you are just creating an automation for sake of creating it? Is your automation catching a bug? Can you rely on your automation? So automation is just a weapon. You need to decide how you are creating it. Does it covering everything, and how you are using it? If the use is not right, then I don't think you should invest in automation. It should be clear. Okay. Next. I think that is all what we need. Any questions from anyone?
Great. Surendra, that was a great presentation. Thank you so much. So guys, if we have any questions, before we take your questions, Madhuri has a little poll for you based on what Surendra has explained to us. And we just want to check a little bit of your understanding. So Madhuri, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, so we have our first question. How much time smoke job should take? And we also have one more question for you. What are the best frameworks to use?
Yes. So guys, I'm pretty sure a lot of you already know what Surendra was talking about and are from that particular, background. So do let us know what are these answers.
Yes.
Surendra, I hope you can see the poll.
Yeah, I can see the poll.
Awesome. Are the answers coming in correct?
I think I'm not able to see answers. I can see the quick poll questions.
All right. We will tell you what the final outcome is then.
Yeah.
Yeah, we still have 1 more minute. Folks, you can think and give. A couple of people still need to answer.
Yeah. So for now, Surendra, in the first one, how much time do smoke jobs, how much time should it take? We have 5 minutes as the front runner.
Yeah, but I still think why people think 20 minutes is a good idea. Well, so what is the use of a smoke job if we talk about it? Smoke job objective is if there is some issue on the prod is broken. Now you want to fix something immediately and push it. So can you guarantee that it's not going to break anything? So smoke job objective is to test something very quickly and say that my 80% customer will not get impacted. Maybe the 20% customer may get impacted. Maybe there will be a P3 or P4 bug, but not the P0 or P1. So that is the criteria. So we can't have our production broken for 20 minutes. So yeah. I think within a 5 minutes, if we have 2 minutes, awesome. But sometimes it may not be possible to do it within a 2 minutes. So it may go to 5. So 5 is what maximum industry say we should be okay with.
Yeah, I think people have answered Surendra.
So 5 minutes is the winner. And what are best frameworks to use? We have BDD as the front.
I think BDD is always good to read. You can always read it and understand it. It is easy to use.
Yes.
Awesome.
But definitely, BDD actually help if somebody who has just a manual knows little amount of code, they can also work with BDD framework. So I think that's why I also like BDD. Somebody can easily understand, and we can manage the test case from there also. You don't need to have something else.
right.
Anybody wants to ask questions, please raise your hand so that we can allow you to talk.
Yeah, or you can just put them in the chat.
Yes.
We'll answer your questions. You can just put them in the chat. Before that, guys, we do have a couple of openings with LambdaTest in various departments, across various departments, and I am going to be putting the link in the comment box below, so you guys can go check out, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us on Twitter, YouTube, to see also the rerun of a lot of webinars that we've done. And check out our career pages for more updates on what we're doing, job openings, who our leaders are, what we do, and more. Of course, you'll have to do a little digging to understand. So if any questions, guys, we can address those. I do have a question for you meanwhile, while people are asking. So how do you hire a team with the correct ratio of different skill sets, Surinder?
So I think it is more about what is our requirement. Based on that, we should hire what we need. And second, I think whenever we are hiring, what kind of work we want to do. So I think the ratio for L1, L2, and L3 should be very crisp. We need few boundary pusher, but not everybody can be boundary pusher. They are day-to-day activity where we need L1, someone who just joined, and he can also grow, his profile will grow with us. So I think if each pod has one boundary pusher who can do any kind of thing, and he is free for team growth, whatever kind of framework or suit people need, he can do it. That could work. We need few people who is very dedicated and teach manual testing to their peer. And we can have few new joinee or fresher who can learn and grow with us and deliver the thing. So that's how the ratio should be there. I think 20% should be senior guy. Mid-level, it should be around 30-40, and rest 50% should be around junior, or I can say a fresher can also work for manual testing.
Yeah.
We have a question, Gayatri.
Yeah. So Surinder, we have one question. How to check which is suitable for us, BDD or TDD?
Okay. So when we say what is suitable to us, it is more depending on how your product is built. So if your product is more like you want to do multiple kind of thing, then you can follow BDD. If you want to involve your PM for reviewing the test cases, if you want to involve your manual tester to write test cases, or they can change something in just a feature file and they can run that. So in that case, BDD is good. If you want properly somebody else to work on it, or you say that only the automation guy will handle it, then you can take any other kind of approach.
Great. Thank you for that. Madhuri, you want to take the next one?
Yeah, so the next question that we have is, what are the key factors you are looking while interviewing a candidate, and how do you judge within a limited time? So the question has two parts. So I'll answer the first part, and maybe second part, Surinder, you as an interviewer should answer. If you're asking, Saurabh, if you're asking from the LambdaTest point of view, then, the first thing, as a company we look, is the cultural alignment, like how aligned you are for LambdaTest, right? The skills are secondary for us. We believe that, whoever joins LambdaTest brings a lot of, energy and is a hustler, and, can do the things and take ownership. All right. And obviously, obviously your skill sets you can learn on job if you have all the right things in place for us. And Surinder, maybe you can answer the second part.
Okay. I think the most thing which I love is he a boundary pusher? What he is trying to achieve, his analytical skill, basically how he can figure out any kind of answer if given the open book or the Google. So if he is a struggler, he can figure out something, that is fine. That only we need, because he can always learn on the job.
Awesome. Anybody else has any questions? Surendra, it'd be great if you can put your email ID and your LinkedIn ID on the chat so people can follow you, hit you up if they have any other queries in mind. Guys, Surendra is open to any and all queries, so you can bombard him. So that'd be great.
Sure. I'm putting my
Perfect.
LinkedIn account
Perfect.
and my official email ID.
Perfect. Guys, do ping Surendra on whatever platform is comfortable to you. So that'd be great. Great.
Definitely, I will.
We don't have any
help.
more questions. Yeah, it'd be great if that happens. So all right, we have one more question. So how do you decide QA to dev ratio in a team is most efficient way? Does it differ from team to team?
So it will differ based on our requirement, like what kind of automation we have. Usually, I think 4:1 is a good ratio. But sometime what happens if we are starting in a team where their automation is not present, and now most of the things, the product become big and we need to deliver everything via just manual, then the ratio will become high. Like you may need 2:1 ratio sometime. But whenever you build the automation, I think 4:1 is good enough.
Great. I hope that answered your question. All right, guys, any other question? We have time for one more. I guess we don't then. All right, great. Surendra, thank you so much. It was a great session. And thank you everybody for attending the very first webinar under LambdaTest Hive, and stay tuned and keep looking at our LinkedIn for announcement of our next webinar. Awesome. Thank you guys and see you again.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you everyone. Yeah, okay.